Yeah, I definitely support any candidate of the three up here and Mr. Broadhead. Of course, I'd be disappointed, but yeah, I've already made that decision. That's a no-brainer. Nothing else to add to that. I would offend these many supporters of the candidates if I didn't, and many of those people have supported me in the past and will support me in the future, I'm sure. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the positive things about the campaign so far has been spending as much time with these three gentlemen here, all honorable, smart individuals. It would be an honor to support any of them, as I hope it would be an honor for them to support me.
Everything that Bill just said as well. I mean, this is who we are. We are Republicans.
Yes.
And the alternative is horrible. So, we have to stand together on the line. Whoever is chosen by you, whoever is given that honor, we will all support that person. Because together we're going to take back this district. We are not going to allow this to be another 36 years of Democratic rule. And I just want to say a little bit more on the UN. By giving credibility to the UN, we allow them to infiltrate our local communities and our counties, and that cannot stand. We need to take back private sector, private property rights, and not allow the United Nations to infiltrate the way that we live our lives in this country.
Moderator question. Name the last Republican congressman from the 6th District.
Thor Tolleson.
Katie? Go ahead. I can't say yes. You have freedom of have to answer.
I know it's Tolleson. I might have got the first name.
All right. So you do.
Yeah, it's Tolleson positive.
Okay. And you guys all knew, right? You're not cheating.
I'm cheating.
What did they say?
Before I was born.
1964. We're going to change that. All right. Are we? We're going to change that. Okay. Do you want to get the first one now, or do you want to let it go to Bill since I asked the trivia question first?
I want to follow the rules.
All right. All right. How do you define marriage, and is it a federal issue?
Marriage is, I believe very strongly that I define marriage as marriage between two individuals. I believe it's critical that the government remain out of individuals' choices, and that we treat all citizens the same.
The word that I follow in my life says it's one man and one woman. And that's how I expect to live my life, and that's how I prefer to see my state handle it. From a constitutional standpoint, at a federal level, that's a state's right. That's a decision for the state to make. Just as abortion is a decision for the states to make. Prior to Roe versus Wade, the states made that decision. And the federal government came in and imposed its will across the whole country. Do you want to give the federal government the power to impose a decision like that upon you in your state? No, we do not want the federal government. Because just because we might be able to get a law passed at the federal level against gay marriage doesn't mean that in the future that somebody could come back to power and impose it upon all of us. So I would say federal level, no. Personal level, I walk with God.
Let me be very clear. Marriage should be between one man and one woman. I pull my same definition from the same source like it does in the Bible, but it's been something that's been instituted throughout our human history. More importantly, let me tell you this. I think it's, if you want to win this race, you better send someone back that can galvanize the base, because we need all of our base and have to attract independents at the same time. You send someone back that equivocates on this issue, we have no shot of winning. But then I'll finally tell you this. I mentioned from a federal level, yes, but I would tell you this. It is within my oath to the Constitution to support a constitutional amendment, to take this off the table, to define it as one man and one woman, and I would certainly support that and lead in doing that. Thank you.
Well, like it or not, I mean, the young family that procreates, I mean, that's the basis of society, and that always will be. And there's nothing that a law can do to change that. However, gay people are entitled to a due process of the law, and in gay relationships, if there is not some way of resolving those relationships, the strong person will beat up on the weak person, and they deserve legal rights. Those legal rights will be granted by the states and have been granted by the states. Whatever it's called will be determined by the people, and that's the bottom line. And it'll probably be gay marriage or whatever it is, but it's. The federal government has some jurisdiction over the issue. They do have jurisdiction over the awarding of federal benefits to gay couples. The Defense of Marriage Act speaks of that, forbids it at this present time. Whatever it's called, that's going to be determined by the people. I agree with Ike. The federal government does not belong setting the rules.
All right, Mr. Reitinger.
Yes, sir.
Several of you who served in the military. The number of military veterans declines over time as our military needs to be much smaller, does not need to be large like in World War II. Is military service an important element of being able to represent this district? Why or why not?
Yes. I think there's two reasons why. One is, as a member of Congress, you have a responsibility to decide whether or not we take this nation to war. It's a sober decision that has to be made when we have to do that. And I think having experience in the military, having served your country, gives you a little bit more preparation for that day, if that day comes, to be able to make that decision as to whether we send your sons and daughters into harm's way. Additionally, I think that experience can be very useful in terms of credibility with the military leadership in Washington, D.C. As we go forward, having the ability to speak articulately with military leadership about the needs of the bases within our district is important. Derek Kilmer does not have that. That's his Achilles heel. He's going to have no credibility in Washington, D.C. with the military.
I know lots and lots of Democrats that have said they support the military, but on 9/11 we saw which side of the aisle didn't support them. And as much as I would love to have said that the Lord led me through military service because of my affection for the freedom that I have, because two of the gentlemen up here have served, and many of you in this audience have served, the Lord didn't lead me down that path. But please understand, just because I haven't served doesn't mean I care any less, or that maybe I don't care more. And the truth is, you have to look at the full package when someone presents themselves to you. I would offer up to you, in terms of supporting our men and women, my industry experience. I have a plan that we'll be rolling out with very soon, and we'll be releasing it. Hopefully the press will carry it. It's called MTAP 21, our military transitional action plan for the 21st century. Because having worked in the corporate world, I have a lot of experience with helping try to bring people into the corporate world. And if you look at the technical prowess, the discipline that our military men and women have, and their families, they're just not being supported by Congress. I can help in that regard too, with my experience. Thank you.
Well, we all bring our advantages to the table here, and that's one advantage that Bill and David bring that I don't bring and Jesse doesn't bring in terms of the military experience. However, it's a small issue. I have combat veterans. Representative Matt Shea has supported me. Representative candidate Tony Stevens, a former drill sergeant, has supported me. I will certainly be able to understand military issues quite clearly. We have a lot of military people in this district that will give me an earful whenever I do. But, really, we all have our advantages. That's one that these two have that the other two don't. Both me and Jesse strongly feel, and I can see it in his eyes, that we have advantages that they don't have.
No, I don't believe that you need to have military experience to represent the district. Jesse and Doug don't have it. They would do a good job representing the district, of course. I do believe, however, that having the combat experience does give you a different lens to look at perhaps sending young men, young women into harm's way. Having seen young Americans hurt, terribly hurt, I think gives you a certain perspective on that is important. I think it's also important, again, understanding the key transitions that our military veterans are going through. When they go from combat back here, it's important to help them with that. As they go from leaving the service to the civilian world, helping them with that transition. And finally, of course, helping veterans as they go from working to retired, helping them with that transition. And really focusing on those.